Today, we're diving into a chilling episode from Brazil's past, one that the government desperately tried to keep under wraps during the late 1980s. The authorities deemed this event too disturbing for the public, but when some startling photos leaked, they ignited a nationwide uproar. Although I won't be showing any graphic images, I'll describe them in detail later on, so please be advised. Our story begins on September 29, 1988, when a young boy named Lucas, just 10 years old, was exploring the outskirts of a large artificial lake in southern Brazil. This lake was part of the expansive Billings Reservoir, a place known for its winding contours and hidden coves. Lucas, who had a passion for catching insects and other small creatures after school, often found himself drawn to this area, despite the warnings he'd heard. Locals frequently spoke of the dangers lurking around the reservoir, hinting at gang activity in its secluded areas. But Lucas was undeterred. He'd never encountered anything sinister before. As he meandered by the water's edge, Lucas prodded the muddy ground with a stick, eventually uncovering something that caught his interest. A large water scorpion, nearly 2 inches long. Delighted, he quickly set down his backpack, grabbed a clear container, and captured the creature. But as he marveled at his new find, something unusual on the other side of the lake drew his attention. A flock of vultures had gathered close to the water, forming a tight circle. Lucas knew these birds only gathered where something had died. His curiosity piqued, but he noticed there was no easy way to reach the other side without swimming, a choice that would surely land him in hot water with his mom. Annoyed, Lucas decided to pick up a stone and fling it toward the vultures, hoping to scare them off. When they didn't budge, he gathered more rocks and began pelting them, one after another. Eventually, his efforts paid off. The birds took to the sky, revealing what they had been circling. At first, Lucas thought he was looking at a small animal, but as he strained to see through the murky water, he realized with a jolt that it was a human body. Panic set in, and he dropped everything, racing back to his village, shouting for help as he ran. Soon the area around the reservoir was swarming with police and curious locals. Typically, when a body was found, the police would share information with onlookers, but this time was different. The officers quickly secured the scene with tape, positioning themselves to block any view of the body. When villagers asked what was happening, they were met with silence and told to step back. As night approached, it became evident that the authorities were intent on keeping this discovery out of the public eye. The crowd eventually dispersed, expecting to hear more about the incident in the news. But when they turned on their televisions that evening, they found nothing. No reports, no updates. The next day, when villagers returned to the site, they found it completely deserted. The police and the body had vanished without a trace. The connection to UFOs weeks passed, leaving the community with no answers. Rumors began to spread that the body might have been that of a fisherman who had gone missing a few days before Lucas's discovery. Some speculated that he had died from alcohol poisoning while drinking near the lake. But if that were true, why were the authorities being so secretive? The incident faded from memory until 6 years later in 1994, when a whistleblower from within the Brazilian government leaked photos and an autopsy report that had been kept hidden. The details were shocking. The man found in the reservoir had not simply died by accident. His death was far more sinister. Brazil has long been a hotspot for UFO sightings, many of which have been reported by credible sources, including military personnel. One of the most well-known incidents occurred on May 19, 1986, a night now known as the Night of the UFOs. On that evening, multiple witnesses, including air traffic controllers, reported seeing strange lights streaking across the sky. Fighter jets were scrambled to investigate, but these objects moved at incredible speeds, easily evading capture. Following that night, reports began to emerge from rural areas about mysterious cattle deaths. Farmers found their livestock drained of blood, with organs removed in what appeared to be surgically precise incisions. This led to growing speculation that UFOs were somehow involved. So when the body was discovered in the reservoir, authorities couldn't ignore the similarities. The man's body bore marks similar to those found on the cattle, perfectly round holes and missing organs. The leaked autopsy report revealed even more disturbing facts. The man's body had multiple round holes, drilled with unnerving precision, and his internal organs had been removed with what seemed like surgical expertise. The report suggested that the man had been alive during this horrific procedure, his body likely going into shock from the intense pain, which ultimately led to his death. The implications were terrifying. If the government allowed this information to come out, it would confirm that UFOs were not just a strange phenomenon, but a real threat to human life. To prevent widespread panic, the authorities buried the story, ensuring it stayed hidden for years. As the truth slowly emerged, the people of Brazil were left to confront the possibility that they were not alone in the universe, and that something far more sinister might be watching them from above. That's the end of today's story. If you found this tale fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more eerie stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.